Hi everyone, this is Chris with Peace of Mind Art and Crafts, and today I'm here to give you the second half of making the slow stitch cover. And I have done a little bit more on the front since I last was on, and I did some more slow stitching. I slow stitched all the way across at intervals on the lace and so on. The last time we just pretty much just put the lace on the front, and then we attached it. Then I attached it with slow stitches. This is a slow stitch heart that I'm going to either sew. I think I am just going to glue this down though to the front. If you preferred, you could do, slow stitching in this area also. But I liked this. I thought that I would leave it open at the top as a pocket. And bring it over just a little bit more. I have added some buttons here. What I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to close it so that I can better see the placement of this heart on the front. Okay, that's where the spine will be. There we go. Okay, and I don't want this to go too far into the spine because I don't want to sew it down to the spine when I'm putting in my signature or signatures, whichever I decide. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll put the pin over here to the side. And I think I'll also put just a little pin right here on the bottom where it goes, so that I can, after I glue it, I can tell. I'll take a piece of wax paper, and I did slow stitch this heart earlier with I stamped on a piece of muslin to get the stamp, and then I did some slow stitching and added some buttons. And you'll notice that I also adhered the theme of the buttons to the back of the cover. Since this has already got a cover on the back, I won't need to back it with paper, and I'm going to use it as a pocket, so I want to be able to put something in there without snagging on any threads. So if I did have just threads here on the back, then I'd have to add a piece of paper or fabric to the back before I glued it down. Okay, so I'm going to use fabric tack glue, or 3-in-1. Start here up on the side towards the top. Sometimes this glue takes a while to come out. I hope you all are doing well. Everything's fine here. Go. We had kind of a deep freeze for a while, but we're over that. Now it's kind of, we did have snow yesterday, which was nice. It was pretty fluffy snow, but that's gone. Actually, that's what I like about Colorado, is when it snows, it's so pretty, and then since we're on such high altitude and close to the sun, the minute the sun comes out, if the temperature gets above freezing, then all the snow will melt. And so it doesn't stick around and get ugly and black and gray like it does some places and stay all winter. So that's what I like about it. And then the next time it snows, it's pretty again. Okay, let me take these pins out now that I've kind of got it semi in there, and check to see if it's straight. And press down. Okay. And now we have let me just cut this piece for, maybe I'll cut it into a tag shape. And then it has a pocket. You'll be able to put anything in there that you want. Coordinate it with the journal, of course. Scraps in my scrap bag. And I also thought that I would use this white flower. I like the way that looks on there. And I can either sew that or glue that on. I think I'll glue it on. With these paper flowers that I have on the back, I did glue those down with a little bit of the fabric tack, and then after it was completely dry, then I went back and put some little French knots in there. And for that I used crochet cotton. And I've started using crochet cotton for colors of thread that I use a lot of, like the green. This green is crochet cotton, because embroidery thread gets to be quite expensive when I have to buy a lot of green for my kits and so on. So I've started using this crochet cotton. It's really nice. It's just one strand, but the one strand equals probably about 3 strands of the embroidery floss, and usually 3 strands is as low as I use for my embroidery floss. I either use 3 strands or 6 strands. Okay, what I did on here was I took off I'm going to take off the little sticker that they have on here. And it's sticky back, but it really isn't sticky back enough to hold. And so I take that off just so it lays a little bit flatter. And I don't have to glue the whole thing on here. I can just glue this round part on the back that's more solid. Okay, most likely when I get this cover done, I will put it on my Etsy shop. So you can go over there if you'd like to purchase it. I have some other ones over there now. Usually what I do is if I put them over there and they don't, most of them sell right away, but if I have some that don't, then I take them off and I'll make a journal out of them. Okay. And then on the inside, it's sturdy enough to be a cover. However, it shows the parts where I embroidered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it, and I can either cover it using fabric or paper. I think I'm going to use paper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark it. I'm just gonna clip it here. I'm going to turn it over and draw a line with the ruler. Find a pencil. Cut that out. I like, let me make sure this is, yeah, it is. And I'm going to need to shave a little bit off, but that's okay, I can do that. Like this, kind of this writing on here, so I'm going to save that on that side. And then on this side, I'm going to come in okay, once again I'll turn it over and I'll use my ruler so I can get it as straight as I can. If this was fabric, I might, and I didn't want to turn under the edges, I could either have kind of a ragged edge look, or I could also use a pinking shears and on the fabric, and that would help the edges keep from fraying. Okay, I'm cutting this piece now. Pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, before I glue this down, is I'm actually going to measure halfway where the spine is so that I can make a fold now. I'll measure the whole thing. It looks like it's 10.5. So be 5 1/4. We got here. I'm just doing this, kind of eyeballing it, but still sort of checking it so I make sure I get it straighter than not, anyway. there. Okay. Now I'm going to glue it. Or if I wanted to, I could also sew it, but I think I will glue it. Might have this just a little bit too big. It seems to be okay on the sides. Yeah. Well, I think what I'll do is, it's pretty close, so I think what I'll do is I'll glue it down, and then if I need to, then and anything is sticking up, then I can do it on the sides. Shave this just this tiny bit off so it's a little bit more even. Okay, now I think what I'll do is I will put the glue close to the edge, but not all the way over. But leave a little bit if I got this on what I consider to be too much of a blob or something, then I could always scrape it a bit, but I think it'll be okay. Put some on here. So I want that middle part to stick down. And I pretty much always put my glue cap on right away. Otherwise, with the Fabri-Tac glue, it'll start oozing out and you'll lose some of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down on the sides. Kind of work from one side to the other. Guys, you'll have to excuse my fingernails. They all started breaking and coming off, and that happens to me in winter a lot. Just gets so dry and brittle. Got a piece of thread coming out of here, so I think I'll try to tuck that back in. There we go. It takes a little bit of time for this glue to start drying, so, and you'll notice that it isn't super smooth, because this background isn't smooth and it has things on the cover. So just keep working it with your fingers. Feels cold before it dries. And if you have a little bit, I have a tiny bit here that peeks out, don't worry about that, that's perfectly fine. Turn it over and press down. I can do that on all of it. Press down on this side. Okay, and I don't really have any that hangs over very much. Possibly on this edge, but I'm not going to clip it because it looks, when you open it up, it looks fairly straight. And I don't want to pick up this this cover. I think I'll use some of this glue. I want to use this glue for the whole thing, but it's for this edge so that I can hold it in place and it dries a lot quicker than the other, to keep that little corner from coming up. Oops, sorry, I was out of range there. I glued down this little corner. And I think I'll go around and do that. Some of these layers are separating, so I'm going to glue those down as well. Little glue will ooze out. Making sure I'm getting those corners, because that's where it'll get the most wear, is on those corners. And especially since the quilted fabric that I used has about 3 layers, and it's can come apart on that corner part. This is where we have that flower, so I'm gonna turn it over. I appreciate all of you joining me today. I wish you peace of mind. If you get a chance, go over to my Etsy shop and take a look. I'll have this on there, as well as I added some few other items on there, since probably you went there last. I appreciate all my subscribers, and thank you for joining me. Peace of mind.